Hello, long time no talk. So I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about some of the stuff going on in North America right now with the NACT coming soon and the situation with BTK and all that. I'm not here to explain everything that happened, and I honestly wasn't going to make this video, and I kind of waited till Zane did his team thing to even kind of post it. I was going to post it last night, but I was like, I'll just re-record it. It's not much of a change to what I was going to say anyways, so I promise you it's not what you think, in case it does happen to reach ears that it wasn't intended to reach. So anyways, basically what I'm gathering from all the stuff with Coach Deku in the video that ZEkilled clipped from T-Rex, by the way, shout out ZEkilled, they were talking about, you know, what's best for North America in their opinion, as in to like grow the region and get real sponsors involved, promotions involved, people watching, etc., how to grow the NA pro scene basically. The consensus that they came to was that it would basically be the best for North America if Zane's team didn't win the NACT and represent for MSC, even if that was a fast loss for a new team for NA on like the international stage. It would basically show that we do have people here on the level to compete with Zane. There's a lot of like hearsay surrounding this, so I don't know about that. I'm no drama lord, but I get what they're saying. But in my opinion, I don't agree with that being what makes the best choice for North America personally. If you want like ideas on how to really make NA pop off and be taken seriously, you would need people to commit seriously to teams. I highly doubt this will be clipped, but the TLDR is that this is the best thing for NA right now. Whatever team Zane joins or forms, whatever, they need to make a contract. This shows the commitment to a permanent roster for a defined amount of time, as well as a coach, analyst, and a manager, or a combination thereof. This lets people know that the team or that things in general with your team are serious, and that you have a proper means to be reached as a team for sponsorship and events. Last but not least, you have to consider what is worth the time. A lot of the teams in North America are not worth the time for Zane or people in or around his league to be quote-unquote wasting, so to say. They had to practice for M5. So at the same time, NA needs to be improving as a region, and this means that other big teams with similar aspirations and or skill sets in NA need to do the same thing to reach M5, make it official. You can't ask the world to like stop underestimating you as a region when you constantly flake and switch teams, have no coach, no manager, and no analyst. It's not that these are people you need in the region you're in at the level you're playing, but it's that you need them so that people know that you're serious about trying to make a team that will go on to win M5, because the teams over there, they do have those and they are needed over there. So it's like a level playing field. You don't need them here, but you will need them over there. You might as well, you know. So anyways, to further expound on that, or the long version, even if that didn't sound like a long version already, my thoughts on this would be that, you know, the best thing to really get NA taken seriously just naturally involves Zane at this point. For all the shit everyone gives him, he has the stats to prove the achievements that he has made, as well as the people that have gone with him on an international stage. What would really be the best for NA is teams that form one or multi-year contracts with members to avoid roster changes and build consistency. Like I said before, this includes any team Zane is in, and naturally this does involve getting the manager, coach, analyst, you know, etc. for the team who's taking it seriously. But the problem you guys don't realize here is that there are not many people in North America qualified for these things. Like, you can't expect these top players here to look for a coach and listen to someone who they don't consider worthy of listening to. Like, even right now, I'll give you a good example in the inverse of that. So I am a data guy. For those of you who know me, you know I have always been about strategies, comps, and drafts. So I want to get my feet wet and try to coach a team. But what credentials do I have? Absolutely none, because I am a solo queue player mostly, with a deep understanding of like the game mechanics. Naturally, any team I would reach out to coach for would have to be a team that no one has heard of, or maybe even has a bad reputation of, or just like a completely new team, and then try to work them up the ladder. If they perform bad despite my coaching, then that obviously translates to bad coaching. If they aren't taking the coaching seriously and start playing how they want despite my advice, then I would have to like drop them as a coach to avoid a reputation hit. You know, the further this further like reinforces the point that when it gets serious, contracts are important for team. You know, and just like as a coach, you don't want the team you are coaching to lose due to a mistake you made. You told them to do this and they lost because of it. As a pro player, like on the level of Zane, Chicken, and all the other all-star players in NA, they also have a reputation to uphold. So they aren't going to go and randomly say, hey, yo, let me get an NA coach, and then do what he or she says, you know. They go and practice an attorney or perform an attorney, and then it's bad, and that's a big hit to their reputation. And you will get the comments of, oh, bad coach, need new coach, blah, 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 coach not needed, better without coach, etc., etc. So I don't personally think that these big teams or players with a following in NA are avoiding coaches because of their ego, as many people want to believe it's because of that. I mean, it might have a small part in it, but it's because of like genuine qualification concerns and the fact that not a lot of people in here have a proven coach track record in NA with results to back it up. I'm not going to like sit here and tell you that, of course, there isn't a little bit of ego problems, but I promise you it isn't the main driver. These guys have a reputation to uphold, and at the same time, without everything in place properly, we just won't ever be taken seriously as a region, because it shows that the commitment isn't there. Also, to this point, you will never agree as a team to expand hero pools and strategies without a coach outlining it for you, because you follow a meta. And because it gets wins, if that in the end restricts your hero pool and playstyles, all it takes is, on the global stage, is for a coach to read your team, your hero pool, and use the skills that they have worked with their team and their drafts and their bigger hero pools to tailor and make a counter to how you play. A good example of this, I'll tell you right now, is just how weak NA is to like split push comps and like or nat roam comps. It's a similar function, or anything related to that, like functionally similar to nat roam comps. NA is really weak to that because they don't have the hero pool to counter that. Maybe a team or two does, but exceptions, right? Another problem we have is that a huge chunk of the player base in NA that have the skills on the competitive level are underage and can't compete when the tournaments are being hosted. They have school or real life to deal with, you know. But legally, it's difficult, if not impossible, for them to sign these contracts that we were talking about earlier. It's just very messy when you get into the nitty-gritty details, but hopefully NA teams who have the ability to take things seriously begin to do so. But yeah, that's my entire 2 cents on that matter. Hopefully I articulated it correctly. By the way, shout out to Los Eggs. I've been coaching them a lot. They're still a very, very new and rookie team, comparatively speaking, and I do mean rookie. But I see potential in the drafts that they can execute, and as a coach for them, I have to be optimistic and hope that they reach far into the rankings. But as an analyst, with them having like less than 100 matches as a full 5, and are working on things that should be like a given for better teams like macro plays and drafting, I have to be realistic and as an analyst and say that they're up against heavy competition, so the projection doesn't go far. So do everything you can to prove the coach right and the analyst wrong, guys, okay? As for who I'm supporting, besides Los Eggs, obviously, it's the Wevo team. I want to see you guys reach top 4 minimum, okay? Top 4 or I riot. So that's all I had to say, guys. Have a nice one. Bye.